A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is excellent. I was very impressed and surprised with this series. The scale and scope of the show is small and localized. The main events outside of the flashbacks occur only over a few days, but the outcome of these events have major consequences. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is a pretty wholesome show, especially in comparison to the other two Game of Thrones series, and it's very compelling. It's a story about a good and principled guy just trying to do the right thing in a not-so-good world. I'm not familiar with the source material, but I am a fan of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. Totally understand how the conclusion of Game of Thrones has soured the taste of many when it comes to other spin-offs in the world of Westeros. But you don't need to have watched the previous series or read any of the novels to enjoy this show. It's self-contained and focused enough to enjoy on its own. But if you have familiarity with the rest of the Westeros lore, there's certainly a lot of little details to appreciate. Our story occurs in between House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. It follows Sir Duncan the Tall, a lowly hedge knight. He's on his way to a tournament to earn some coin. But things change and escalate as a curious companion tags along. And important and powerful people are implicated in the coming troubles.
Sir Erland raised me to be a true knight, not with sword or lance, but with honor. And I swore that I would.
The show looked awesome. The sets were really good. And the armor was quite cool, especially that of the Kingsguard.
Do you ride your horse into battle, or does it ride you?
Forget Sir Erland, it's not often he must look up to cast his eyes down.
Yes, I'm quite the rascal.
There wasn't a ton of action, but what we got was still very enjoyable. And the acting was very good all around. Really impressed with our main characters of Duncan and Egg. Gotta show some love to my favorite character Baelor, but more on him later. This show really thrives at character and story. Duncan is a rarity in this Game of Thrones world of Westeros. A truly noble and steadfast man, he's an aspirational character that clings to his values, the values of being a true knight, even in the face of adversity, or where compromise might get him further along.
In the name of the Father, I charge you to be just. In the name of the Mother, I charge you to protect the young and innocent.
Although the first couple of episodes take their time to develop, it is purposeful and intentional in order to endear the audience to our main characters of Duncan and Egg. Every episode has its moments to enjoy, and effectively builds upon the characters in the narrative. The penultimate episode is certainly awesome, because it's the climactic event that the series has been building up to. But I've gotta say that episode 4 was my favorite. More on that later. Dunk and Egg's dynamic is so delightful. Duncan as a well-meaning but naive giant man, who is knowledgeable, but can put his foot in his mouth sometimes. He's a bit of an oaf. Egg, as a brash and knowledgeable child longing for a different life. Dexter Ansel did an awesome job playing Egg. I was really impressed with the emotions and range that he was able to convey. Our protagonists truly complement each other, and I thoroughly enjoyed the humorous moments and the serious ones. The setups and payoffs were very well done. This show was very good at balancing the moments of levity and humor with the ones that are very serious. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is a show that gets a very strong recommendation from me. It's definitely adult content, but it's incredibly heartwarming, moving, and a short enough series that you could binge in an afternoon. My favorite character of the series, though, is Baelor Targaryen, and to talk about him some more, I'll need to get into spoilers.
Targaryens, they're incestuous aliens and tyrants.
Oh, the world of Westeros. It's an often occurrence where the good don't get what they deserve and the wicked prosper. And that's kind of how it is with Baelor, a man who likely would have been a great king. And if he were to have lived longer, change the entire course of events in Game of Thrones. It is crazy to think that what would have been a routine visit to a lowly tournament would actually result in the death of the Hand of the King, and change the realm forever. It's really cool and impressive that the story of a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms was on such a small scale, but with huge consequences. Baelor was a great depiction of an honorable man who understands the weight of his position, and the implications each decision has. His dialogue was rich and layered. You really got the sense of his prestige and why he is revered by so many. I enjoyed how he conducted himself honorably and not with such piety and arrogance as we've seen with other Targaryens. And that's what made all his efforts to help Sir Duncan throughout the show so impactful. The scene in episode 2 where he aids Duncan's effort to participate in the tournament was great. And even more so ensures the legitimacy of his knightship by telling him he needs a sigil of his own.
Thank you again, Your Grace.
Side note, I really liked how the show played with the idea that Dunk was never knighted by Sir Arlen. It's so ironic that the Bastion of Knightship was never actually a legitimate knight. Love the themes that being a knight, an honorable man, is proven by the things that you do, rather than the ceremonies and rituals that you may have participated in. This series all but states that Dunk was never knighted. I hope they keep it this way, and never explicitly make a determination one way or the other. The questionable legitimacy of his knighthood is a fun and engaging aspect of the show. Back to Baelor in episode 2. That entire scene of Dunk's appeal to Baelor to remember Sir Arlen so that he could participate in the tournament was so good. Although Baelor would have been justified in reprimanding Duncan for what could have been perceived as a slight to him, he instead handles the conflation of facts so gracefully and doesn't make more of it than it needs to be. It was moments like these that made Baelor's arrival to fight on Duncan's side in episode 4 so fulfilling. And that's a big reason why episode 4 was my favorite. I love the scenes that Duncan had with Baelor, Egg, and all the other characters in this episode. And even the dynamism of Sir Stefan Fossaway was a shock. And then the show pulls the rug right out from under you with his betrayal. The show was just so effective at endearing me to Duncan's side that I was just as astonished as he was when everything was happening. And the direness of the situation builds up even more when it seems like no one else would help him. Duncan's "Are there no true knights among you?"
Are there no true knights among you?
speech was very riveting and powerful. And then Baelor's arrival to fight on Duncan's side is enhanced by the classic Game of Thrones score. Music that means so much to the fans of the Game of Thrones world, played at just the right time. What an incredible scene. I was very impressed with this whole show. Even the epilogue style and feel of episode 6 brought great appreciation and layers to Lionel Baratheon and Maekar Targaryen. It's great having a show with several multi-dimensional characters. And that's the gist to my spoiler-free and spoiler-filled thoughts of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. This series was a breath of fresh air. It's an awesome, simple story with characters that move you and that you want to root for. I'm very excited for Season 2 that sounds like it's coming out in just about a year. Gives me just enough time to give the novels a run through. What did you think of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms? What was your favorite episode and character moment? Hit me up! Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'll catch you next time on The Gist.